So, what if your neighborhood park wasn't just some patch of grass, but the actual heart of your entire community? Well, that's the fascinating experiment going on in Hardin Valley, Tennessee. In this explainer, we're going to dig into how this Knoxville suburb isn't just near the outdoors, it's been intentionally built around it.
And this quote, it just nails the core idea perfectly. We're not talking about a nice little perk here. We're talking about identity. The outdoors are baked into the DNA of Hardin Valley. So, how they do it, and what does that actually mean for the families who call it home?
All right, so here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the philosophy behind it all. Then we'll take a tour of the shared backyards that really anchor the community. After that, we'll follow the greenways that connect everything, see how that fuels the social scene. And finally, we'll look at how this whole lifestyle actually impacts home values.
So, what is the big idea here? Well, it's actually pretty simple, but it's powerful. In Hardin Valley, the outdoors isn't an afterthought, it's the blueprint. This wasn't some happy accident, it was a deliberate, intentional choice in how they designed the entire community. This kind of integrated design does something really brilliant. It makes a healthy, social lifestyle the path of least resistance. Suddenly, the easiest, most natural choice is to get outside, to meet your neighbors, to let your kids run around and play safely. It's kind of like social engineering, but done with sidewalks and parks.
Of course, a lifestyle like this needs its anchors, right? You need those central hubs for community life. And in Hardin Valley, that role is filled by three really distinct shared backyards. Let's check them out. First up is the community's energetic heart, Hardin Valley Park. And this isn't just a park, it's really the main stage for community life. Think of it as the high-energy active center where all the action is happening. And you can totally see why it's so energetic. You've got organized youth soccer and baseball that draw families in all year long. You've got modern playgrounds where kids can just be kids, and these great looping paths that are perfect for a quick walk while your kid is at practice. The whole space is just designed for constant, vibrant activity. This quote just hits the nail on the head. The park's real job is to be social. It's not some sterile sports complex. It's the weekend hangout spot where families are having picnics and neighbors are catching up. It really does transform public space into a shared experience. But hey, not every day is a big game day, right? And the community has options for whatever mood you're in. On one hand, you've got Melton Hill Park, this awesome waterfront escape that's perfect for fishing or kayaking. And on the other, you've got Solway Park, which is more of a quiet retreat, for a slower, calmer pace. Okay, so having great parks is one thing, but how do you actually make them a part of daily life? Well, the answer is in the infrastructure that connects them, what you could call the community's arteries. And this is where that intentional design really, really shines. This greenway system is the secret sauce. First, by separating the walking paths from traffic, it creates a super safe space for families. Then, by linking the parks directly to the neighborhoods, it makes getting outside totally effortless. And what's the result? You get a truly walkable, bikeable culture where, honestly, your car starts to feel optional. And it's not just the big greenways either. These smaller pocket parks are just as vital. They bring green space right to your doorstep, which turns getting outside from this big planned event into just a spontaneous, everyday habit. Okay, so we've got the spaces and we've got the connections. Now let's look at how all this physical stuff actually builds the social fabric of the community. This is where the whole lifestyle really comes alive. And the social payoff is huge. You have schools using the parks as outdoor classrooms. The youth sports leagues, they become these powerful networks for parents hanging out on the sidelines. Community festivals and events just naturally happen in these spaces. The parks literally become the stage where community life plays out. And here's where it gets really interesting. When a lifestyle is this deeply a part of a place, it stops just shaping your weekend plans and it starts shaping your biggest life decisions, like where you're going to buy a home. And that brings us to our final point, the real, tangible impact this all has on value. Because when you buy a home in Hardin Valley, you're not just buying a house, you're buying into this entire outdoor ecosystem. And you can see this playing out in the housing market. Buyers in Hardin Valley are actively looking for homes near these amenities. Access to parks isn't just a nice-to-have feature on a list. It's seen as a real investment in a family's quality of life, which in turn helps support strong, sustained property values. So as we wrap this up, it leaves us with a really fascinating question. In a time of so much suburban growth,
Hardin Valley shows us that maybe the most valuable asset isn't a private fence, but a shared park. What is the true value of a shared backyard? It seems like it's not just about the green space itself, but about building a healthier, more connected community from the ground up.